I was at a point in my addiction where like I was no longer in control of myself. And that's when it got scary. I knew what I was doing wasn't serving me, but yet I'm watching myself engage in this activity and I can't stop. Even though I know I want to, even though I said I am, I can't stop. Like I've literally lost control of my mind and I'm no longer the pilot. That's scary. I firmly believe that there's nothing more complicated or more difficult to do than change yourself. It hurts. It feels uncomfortable. And a lot of the times we would rather avoid it. But you can't avoid it, right? Every time you look in the mirror, every time you wake up, that part of you that you know is not benefiting you, the thing that you partake in that you know is not getting you to your goals any faster, it doesn't go anywhere until we make it go somewhere. We imagine our lives to be one thing. And then we look at what our lives are like right now, and it's like, it's not adding up. The more you look, the more you'll be able to tell, oh, I have to do this in order to get here. But doing that is going to take effort. And what if you're not motivated sometimes? What if you just don't see the point in putting in the effort because you just don't care anymore? You've lost all motivation. Every day we hear that we can speak a new life or something into existence. The tongue, our words, holds power. It's not just a spiritual or esoteric concept. There's actual science and biology behind it, and that's why I like neuroscience. You can talk your way into a new life. You can talk your way into being a new person, into new habits, into bettering yourself, or you can destroy yourself. When I learned what dopamine was, my life changed and I was able to beat my addiction. I was able to show up for myself in ways that I didn't before. Dopamine actually helped me regain and build my discipline. Let's learn about dopamine, what it is, how it functions normally and what it looks like when it's out of balance. And also how we can reset our brain to actually start feeling good again. So what is dopamine? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter or chemical messenger produced in the brain. It's responsible for helping us feel motivated, movement, memory, our attention spans, our reward system. It also has an effect on our mood. Quick dopamine is things that give us that instant gratification, such as scrolling on TikTok, smoking, drinking, binge eating, dating apps, anything that doesn't really require effort to still get that same feeling of like accomplishment. That's quick dopamine. Quick dopamine requires little effort, whereas good dopamine does. You have to work a little harder for what you want. And I know that sucks to hear, especially in a world where everything is so accessible. This is why we see a rise in mental health issues like depression and anxiety. It would help to take a look at how dopamine is functioning in our body before we just write ourselves off as being crazy and damaged goods that cannot be helped. You're not beyond repair. And that's the good news. Dopamine isn't just making us feel good. It's actually pointing us to the thing that will make us feel good. Think of the two angels on your shoulder. They're really the dopamine angels. One's good dopamine, one's bad dopamine or quick dopamine. And they're whispering in your ear to try to convince you to try something new, to continue doing that bad habit. They're going to encourage you to take action. so that you can feel good. Let's talk about how dopamine works in the brain without a science overload. We know that dopamine is driving us to pursue something that may feel good, but dopamine isn't just floating around in our brain. It travels along specific routes or pathways. And think of these like different highways to different destinations that are responsible for different feelings. You have one for motivation, one for movement, one for memory. Each one is affecting a different aspect or part of our lives. So every time you expect a reward, whether it's from scrolling on TikTok to find a good video that interests you, or biting into that cookie, or swiping on the dating apps, or smoking or drinking, dopamine levels rise in that part of our brain, the reward system. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Think of dopamine as a key. That key is needed for this lock. The lock is the receptor. They activate, the key goes into the lock or the receptor. They decide how strongly you feel that hit of dopamine. So the more often you chase quick dopamine, the more those receptors are going to get overwhelmed with signals of dopamine. And over time, those receptors are going to stop responding as strongly as they did the first time you engaged in that activity. That's why the things that once felt good don't hit the same anymore. That's why the first time you ever smoked, you don't usually get that feeling no more because you're 10 years in. It doesn't hit the same. And so when dopamine is constantly overwhelmed or spiked, in order to regulate that, God, the creator, the universe has literally thought about it all. Because there's a chemical in the brain called dynorphin. Think of it as dopamine's opposite. Dopamine's regulator, to keep it in check. So as quickly as you're releasing dopamine into those pathways, dynorphins are coming just as hard to bring you back down. That's when we start feeling drained or sad out of nowhere. But how is that possible? Because we did the thing that we thought was going to make us happy, and then it didn't make us happy. And this creates a cycle. This is where addiction gets started. Because once you feel low, you want to chase another quick hit of dopamine so you can feel good again. Without realizing you're creating this roller coaster that's not leading you to nowhere good. It's leading you back to the beginning. The beginning where the problem started. This is why you find yourself scrolling through social media because you wanted to, but now it's not even fun. It doesn't even feel fun. So you exit out the app and you put your phone down. But something's like, pick it up again and open it back up. Maybe you'll find something good. That's dopamine at work. Healthy dopamine looks like motivation without constant external triggers. It looks like you inspiring yourself to keep going. You're no longer chasing those quick dopamine hits. You no longer need caffeine to get you going throughout the day if you have a caffeine addiction. Now, go too crazy on the caffeine because I like me some caffeine too, but when you become dependent on this to give you the momentum to accomplish those goals, that's quick dopamine. And so instead, healthy dopamine is pulling you towards something more meaningful, even if it doesn't result in instant gratification. You wake up and get things done, not because there's a reward that day, but because you're connected to the why behind what you're doing. I don't get a reward for making my bed, but I do get good dopamine because I know making my bed in the morning, I'm setting myself up to accomplish my goals for the rest of the day. Healthy dopamine also looks like enjoying the process, enjoying the ride, and not just the outcome. We're so ready to accomplish these goals and get what's owed to us, get that reward, without realizing that it is a reward to be able to wake up and take those necessary steps to accomplish that goal. Whether you have some obstacles in the way or not, I thank God for obstacles every day, because that means I'm alive and capable of overcoming those obstacles. Gratitude and healthy dopamine go hand in hand. These wins weren't handed to you in a swipe. And finally, engaging in healthy dopamine activities means that you're not overstimulated all the time. Your brain has a regulated response to novelty and reward. New experiences start to feel exciting again without feeling addictive. You can appreciate the simple things in life, like reading a book or walking, because your brain is no longer numb from all that overstimulation. This balance in dopamine is what allows you to feel grounded and inspired, not burned out or tired, but grateful to be alive. And then on the opposite side, you have dopamine that has been dysregulated. And we know that's what leads to addiction. That's the roller coaster we cannot get off of. Now it's just something we feel like we have to do. Now it's just a part of the routine. But we keep reaching for these quick dopamine spikes because our brain has forgotten how to create that feeling naturally. Over time, your motivation is going to drop. You're going to start feeling apathetic, like nothing matters. Life is dull, life is bland, and what's the point? You procrastinate more even to do the simple task like washing your dishes or folding your laundry, because that's going to take real effort. And this is what happens when dopamine is dysregulated. The highs get shorter and the lows get deeper. Life starts to lose all its color. Remember earlier in the video when I told you that I no longer felt like I was a pilot in my own brain? That's because my natural motivation system was being hijacked. All this quick dopamine was releasing all these dynorphins to combat the dopamine spikes, to bring levels back down, and then I was numb. I didn't care. I was uninspired. I was a lost cause until I wasn't. You can reset your brain to start doing the good things. You can train your brain to enjoy life again without needing those constant highs. And in the next section, I will show you exactly how to do that. We have the ability to increase our dopamine naturally, leading us to a long-term fulfillment instead of burnout. But the key is to delay instant gratification. I know, it sounds crazy. When I was growing up, I didn't always get what I wanted. And when I got older, I told myself I can get whatever I want. And that wasn't really good. Not in the long run, at least. In order to take back control of our reward system, we're going to have to stop rewarding ourselves constantly and actually wait until we've earned it. For example, finish that task before you check your phone. Do the workout first before you eat the treat. Go take a shower or start the laundry before you binge watch that new episode on Netflix. Those small shifts signal to your brain real reward comes with effort. Next, we're going to lean into the physical habits that stimulate dopamine in a balanced way. For example, cold showers to give our nervous system a reset, and sunlight, especially in the morning, can help regulate dopamine rhythm and your mood. I know, it's probably not what you want to hear because you hear it all the time, but something has to give. You also want to feed your brain with learning, creativity, and challenges. This isn't just good for personal growth, but it teaches your brain to crave progress over quick fixes. Whether it's journaling, reading, learning a new language, engaging with life in this way, now you can actually reap your rewards and see the benefit of taking the steps to accomplish that reward instead of taking the easy way out. And this is probably going to be the most important thing when it comes to naturally increasing dopamine without burnout. That is, stop the constant overstimulation. Take breaks from your phone. Stop multitasking. Try to be more present with life. Check in with yourself. And it is okay to let yourself be bored sometimes. God, I had to tell myself, stop trying to chase the next thing to do. I had a list on my phone, written down everywhere, lists everywhere of the next thing to do, next thing to do. And it was giving me anxiety because I'm like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. To the point where I was like, there's not enough time in the world, without realizing there's an abundance of time. I'm not dead, you're not dead, we're alive. There is an abundance of time to get this done. And your job here on this earth is not done. Okay? Unless you're engaging in crazy activities that can shorten your life, your job is not done. You have time. And this is what people call a dopamine detox. Really, it's just giving yourself and your brain time to regulate itself again, get back in balance, mind, body, spirit. You don't have to cut everything out forever. You don't have to stop cold turkey. You just need to slowly stop over flooding your system so you can start feeling again. Now, what does it look like when you actually start to heal your dopamine system? First off, you gain focus, peace, and satisfaction with life. You stop needing to open a million tabs or do a million things to feel productive. You can sit with yourself and be okay with doing nothing. The inner restlessness, the anxiety, the yelling that happens in our brains when we're overstimulated or overthinking stops. Silence. It's quiet. I just got back into meditating. The other day, I put on a 10-minute timer, and it was the hardest thing ever. Trying to sit there, and I was like, that was really only 10 minutes? Oh my God. So today I actually started with 5. We're going to work our way up. But I felt good after because I challenged myself to sit down, just observe the thoughts, not absorb them. There's something else that happens when you start to heal your dopamine system, and that is your motivation comes back. You wake up feeling inspired to create, to live, to do, to experience. You don't rely on the chaos or the drama or the anxiousness to make you feel alive. You start bringing back meaning to the small things, to the simple conversations. Those moments start to feel sacred again. And long term, your entire relationship with yourself, with life changes. And this is how you build a life that not only looks good, but feels good. This isn't about being a monk or turning into a nun and giving up fun. This is about reclaiming your spark, getting back to purpose, getting back to life on your terms. This is about taking back control of your reward system and engaging in the behaviors that increase dopamine, but also bring long-term fulfillment and actually push you to accomplish the goals you have in life instead of stalling you or holding you back. This is about understanding our biology and the power we have over our lives. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe and like, and let me know how you feel. I'm going to create this series that's like A to Z learning. Dopamine starts with D, so it's kind of out of order, but yeah, that's what you can expect from me going forward. And good luck on your journey to self-satisfaction.